You've got your idea nailed. Maybe your first product is ready. But before you dive in, you want to know the proven methods of how to get your first paying customers. I'm Gina. In my 17 years of building startups, I've driven over £8.5 million worth of customer revenue from products and services. This video breaks down the 5 tried and tested distinct strategies that I have used over the years to get those first buyers in the door, including the outreach email that drove over £20,000 worth of sales. Now, I am British, and a very British thing to do is to not ask outright for exactly what you want. We tend to skirt around things. But the best way to get your first customers is to outright ask people you already know. Most people overlook engaging their personal network for their first sales because they feel awkward approaching people they already know. But your own network is an absolute goldmine. Your friends, family, colleagues, they aren't your customer base. They're your launch team. Your goal here doesn't necessarily have to be getting them to buy. It is getting them to spread the word. Sharing your products or service in group chats, forwarding it to people that they might know, giving you honest feedback. LinkedIn was launched by Reid Hoffman inviting just his personal contacts and then directly asking them to do the same. This compounded growth from day one. Do not underestimate how much easier it is to get traction from people who already trust you, or just how much value and currency you have built up in the years of just being you. This next strategy works both digitally and literally. I'm here to help you with a hard truth. No matter how good your product or service is, nobody is coming to you. I work with Red Bull, and what I find most interesting is that in 1987, their founder, Dietrich Mateschitz, personally drove himself and his products around to convenience stores, parked up outside, and gave people his product. He literally went to where his customers were. It's the same as when Whitney Wolfe was launching Tinder. She went to every college campus she could get herself to. When you are just starting up and you need your first paying customers, it is on you to do the legwork and go where your customers are. You need to get in front of people and show them who you are and what you do. This can be at trade shows, meetups, universities, on the corner of a really popular 5K route that you found on Strava. But you need to go to where your customers are and show up. This isn't about mass awareness and mass marketing. To get your first paying customers, you need to put yourself in front of the right people. Okay, so this one is a little controversial, but it genuinely works, especially when used properly and sustainably. When PayPal first launched, none of us were really rushing to reimagine how we did payments. That's why they offered people £10 to sign up and another £10 for anyone else that they referred and also signed up. It may have cost them upfront, but this strategy built them the fastest growing customer user base in tech history. When used intentionally, incentives work fast. I've used the financial incentives of referral bonuses, early access discounts, and even leverage partner payouts to get that momentum going. If you incentivize people to act quickly and bring other people along, you will build momentum for your customer base immediately. When I first started working in startups back in 2008, there was no such thing as Product Hunt or Kickstarter. We only had the slightly rogue killer startups, and maybe Stumble Upon was big for discovery, although it did get me into quite a hole sometimes, and I lost hours to that product. Nowadays, there are so many discovery platforms that you can utilize immediately to get your first paying customers, even before you finalized your product. I'm going to list some of my favorite platforms in this description, but using these is a huge cheat code to getting your first wave of visibility and your first paying customers. These platforms are literally built for it. They have active communities of early adopters, always looking for new solutions. Not only will a strong launch here give you your first customers, it will also give you a really good feedback loop and a really good ambassador base. I've seen founders go from a standing start to over 1,000 followers and genuine paying customers within 2 weeks utilizing these platforms properly. If you want to know how to do a platform launch properly, I have driven over $30 million through platform utilization alone. Drop me a comment and I will make a separate video on it. Now, number 5 is a method that most people avoid, but if done properly, is hugely impactful. I've used this method to get partnerships, collabs, pre-sale revenue, direct customer revenue. It just works. And it works for me because most people don't take the time to do it properly, but I have learned exactly how. Cold outreach that is direct and targeted and not bulk and not spammy gets you your first paying customers. And it has to be done properly with no lazy approach, which is what so many people do nowadays. You need to do actual human personal outreach to people who will benefit directly from your product or service. To do this, you need to know who your audience are and reach out with value. If you don't know who your audience and your customers are, please do check out the free resources on my site, sign up for the Sunday setup, but you need to reach out in a human way, giving them value, keeping it short and sweet. Genuinely identify people who will benefit. And we're keeping this short and sweet and value driven with a formula. Before you do this cold outreach, you need to do a bit of prep work. For everyone you are reaching out to, you need to research one thing that you can help them with directly. This email is a formula that works, and it is around 125 words, 4 or 5 paragraphs. It reads something like, "Hi, name. I have just been on your website and can see your offer for whatever they're offering. Are you struggling to drive more traffic towards it? One of the things you can do is insert product to your solution. Is this something you've considered? I'm Gina. I've done this previously for A, B, and C, and it has driven results of X, Y, and Z. I thought I'd reach out to you because I know I can do it for you too." This formula is so simple because it gives direct value to that individual person. It takes more time, it takes the research, it takes a human, not AI, but it works. And this format is so important because 80% of emails are read on mobile, and the first 2 lines are shown as the preview, and that person who's receiving that email already knows what they are going to get from it, that value, what they're going to achieve by reading that email and interacting with you. What you can also do for cold outreach for completely free is send your product to micro-influencers. People in your target audience who genuinely will benefit from your product, who have a following of between 1,000 and 5 to 10,000 people, are people who will use your product in their content on their stream if it gives them value. They're at the stage of their journey where they are sharing everything with their audience. And if you are honestly delivering them value with their product and meeting their emotional and functional needs, they will tell people about it. This cold outreach, again, has to deliver value. You're not asking for anything or expecting anything. You're seeing a problem that you can solve and you are offering it to them. In both instances, this cold outreach works. It builds relationships before revenue by giving them value before you're asking for something back. If you are launching something and trying to land those first customers, these 5 strategies will get you there. They are not hacks, they're proven methods that I've used over the last 17 years to build huge revenue for the brands that I work with. To find your first paying customers, you don't need to think big scale yet. You need to find those initial buyers and build traction from there. Please do like, subscribe, follow along, and let's build your business better.